is Gina. Today we're going to make a pair of earrings to match the Gleeful sparkle necklace that we made in the previous tutorial. So this is what they look like together, the set. It's a really pretty set. Let me get you close. And this is what the earring we're going to make looks like. It's basically just one section of the necklace on an ear wire. It's really very simple to do. And let's go ahead and look and see what it takes to make this project. Okay, for this tutorial, you will need 16 4mm round beads. This is a Chinese crystal and it's silver sparkle. Then you will need 8 elongated bicones. So this is a 4x8 bicone, and I'm using 2 colors. I'm using red and green. Then you'll need 2 ear wires, 2 wire guardians, and some 15-0, 8-0, and 11-0 seed beads. These are Toho, and they are galvanized aluminum permanent finish. Then we'll be using Nanofil. You can use 8 or 10 pound Nanofil. You can also use 4 or 6 pound Fireline. I'm using a size 12 beading needle, and I have put onto my needle an arm's length of thread. So I just measured from my shoulder to my fingertips on one arm, and that should be more than enough for an earring. So let's go ahead and get started. To start this project, we're going to pick up an 11-0, an 8-0, an 11-0, and a 4mm round crystal. Then we're going to repeat that. 11-0, 8-0, 11-0, 4mm round crystal. Just like this. Now you're going to grab a hold of these beads and take them down to the end of the thread. You don't have to leave a really long tail, but leave a few inches to hold on to. And then from the tail side, bring your needle back through all of the beads. Just like this. Then hold on to all of the beads and pull your needle through. When you start to get a small loop, grab a hold of both of the threads, the tail and the working thread, and pull them together. And this will draw your beads into a circle. Then take your tail thread and your working thread and just tie a small overhand knot, being very careful to draw it down between the 11-0 and the 4mm round crystal. And this will just stabilize what we have so far so that we can begin. Let me tighten that a little bit. It's a little loose. There we go. Now I'm coming out where my tail, or where I tied my knot, where my tail is. So I'm going to go up through this 4mm round crystal, and I'm just going to sew around all of these beads. So I'll go into these seed beads right here, all 3 of them, pull through, go through the crystal, pull through, go through all 3 of these beads here, and now I'm back where my tail and my working thread meet. So I want to sew around into this crystal, the first 11-0 and the 8-0 seed bead, so that I may begin my next step. So I'm going to go into this crystal again. This will secure everything nicely. Then we'll go into the 11-0 and the 8-0 right here. And just pull your thread through. Just keep your tail out of the way here. And now we're ready to start the next step. We're coming out of the 8-0 seed bead. I'm going to turn my unit like this so that my 4mm rounds are on either side, so we can reference which side of the 8-0 we're coming out of. We're coming out of the right side of the 8-0 here. We're going to pick up an 11-0, a 4mm round crystal, and an 11-0, and we're going to go into the opposite 8-0 in the unit here, and we're going to go into the right side. Since we're coming out of the right side of this one, we're going to go into the right side of this one. So we're just going to, it's difficult to hold on to, so just grab it the best you can and go into the right side of the 8-0 seed bead. Now I'm just going to hold on to my unit and pull my thread through until I can push my beads on top of my unit. Just like that. Now we need to anchor from the other half of the 8/0 seed bead. So we're going to pick up an 11/0 seed bead and we're going to go through the crystal right here. And I'm just holding on to everything between my thumb and my fingers and drawing that thread through. As I do that, I give it a tiny tug to tighten everything up, and then we will work into the other half of the other 8/0 that we started in. So we need to anchor to this half. So we'll pick up an 11/0 seed bead and go into this side of the 8/0 and anchor that bead on top down to the unit very well. Give a nice tug. Make sure everything is really tight. This needs good tension, and then turn the unit over. Now you have a little bowl here. We're going to fill in this bowl with a bead. So hold on to your tail in the 4mm round here. Pick up an 11/0 seed bead, and we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to pick up an 11/0, a 4mm round, and an 11/0. We're going to anchor into the opposite 8/0 on the same side we're coming out of. So we're coming out of the right side here. We're going to go into the opposite 8/0 and go into the right side again. And then just pull your beads down like this. Now you're not going to get them really tight at this point. Just pull them down so there's not a lot of slack. Then pick up an 11/0 seed bead and go back into the crystal we just put on. Hold your thumb over it and pull your needle through. Pull your thread through, give a little tug. Now we need to anchor to the other half of the 8/0 here. So we're going to pick up an 11/0 and we're going to go into the opposite side from which we're already attached. So we're attached here, we're going to go in here and pull this down. Now my thread twisted, so I'll just lift it and untwist it. Until my 11/0 pops in there correctly, like this. Now I'm just going to tighten the entire unit by just holding on to it and pulling on my thread a little bit, and this is what it should look like. Now I'm going to cut this tail down just to get it out of my way. And let's back off just slightly. We're going to make a different unit now. We're going to make units with the bicone crystals that we have out. So what we're going to do is, I believe I'm going to start with the red ones. So I'm going to pick up an 11/0 seed bead, a 15/0 seed bead, and then one of my bicones. And then I'm going to pick up a 15/0 seed bead, an 11/0, an 8/0, and an 11/0, and I'll show you what I have. I know you can't see me. 11/0, and then a 15/0, and a bicone, and then a 15/0, and an 11/0. And let me show you what we have. So we have 11/0, 15/0, bicone crystal, 15/0, 11/0, 8/0, 11/0, 15/0, bicone crystal, 15/0, 11/0. It's basically what we were picking up before, except for now you have a 15/0 seed bead on either side of the bicones. Bring this down to your piece, and then go into the opposite side of the 8/0 you're coming out of. So go into the 8/0 right here, avoid all the 11/0s around it, and pull this down, just like this. Now we're going to sew up until we exit this 8/0 seed bead here. So go into the 11/0, 15/0, and bicone crystal here. Hold on to them and give a little tug, and then go up into the 15-0, 11-0, and 8-0 here. And pull through. Give a little tug to tighten it up, and now we will embellish the top of this unit just like we did with the rounds. So we're going to pick up an 11-0 seed bead, and now I'm going to use one of my green beads. So I'm going to pick up a green bicone crystal and another 11-0 seed bead. 11-0, bicone, 11-0. Now I'm coming out of this side of the unit here, so I'm just going to turn and go into the same side of the 8-0 on the unit we're attached to, right here. A little closer, and then just pull through. Pull that on top of the other beads. Make sure that you have not a lot of slack. And then we have to attach to this side of the 8-0 because we're only attached on this side. So we're going to pick up an 11-0 seed bead and just go through the crystal. Just like this. Put your thumb gently over it and pull. Give a little tiny tug to tighten everything up, and then pick up an 11-0 and let's attach to this side of the 8-0. So go into the side you're not already attached to, right here, and pull. Give a little tug, and this is what you should have, just like this. Turn this over, and now we've got a long skinny bowl that we're going to fill in. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Pick up an 11-0 and a green bicone and an 11-0. And then we're going to go into the same side of the opposite 8-0. So here's the opposite 8-0. We're coming out of, if I hold it this way, we're coming out of the right side. We're going to go into the right side of the 8-0 on the unit we previously made. And just pull your thread down until you can bring the bead over the top, just like this. And then pick up an 11-0, go through the crystal, and just the crystal. Pull it down, tighten it up, pick up an 11-0, and then attach to the side you're not already attached to. So we'll go into this side of this 8-0 right here. Then I'm just going to grab a hold of my unit and just pull. Make sure everything is really tight, and this is what it should look like. Now we're going to make one more unit on the bottom here of the round beads, and then we'll put on our ear wire. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick up an 11-0, a 4mm round, an 11-0, and an 8-0. Then an 11-0, a 4mm round, an 11-0, and we will attach to the 8-0 on here. So we're coming out of this side, we're going to go into this side, just like this, and pull. Now, in order to embellish this, we need to sew up to this 8-0 seed bead here. So we're just going to go into the 11-0, the bicone crystal, and the 11-0 on this side. Pull through, give a little tug, and go into the 8-0 here. Pull through, tighten your thread, and then pick up an 11-0, a 4mm round crystal, an 11-0, and go into the same side of the opposite 8-0. So here's the opposite 8-0. We're coming out of this side. We're going to go into this side. Now the 11-0s can kind of get in your way, so just kind of push your unit down and you can get them out of the way. You only want to attach to that 8-0. Pull this down and then bring your thread back through because it'll be on the opposite side. Then pick up an 11-0 seed bead, go through the crystal. Hold on to the crystal, pull your thread through and give a nice tug. And then let's attach to the other side of the 8/0 here. So we're just going to go into, pick up an 11/0 and go into this 8/0 right here. And pull. Bring it down, tighten it nice and tight, turn it over, and let's fill in the back of this one. So we're going to pick up an 11/0, a 4mm round, and an 11/0, and then go over to the opposite one that's attached to the previous unit into the 8/0 here, just like this, and pull this through. Bring the beads up and around, and then we have to attach to the opposite side of the 8/0 now. Since we're through it, we'll pick up an 11/0. We'll go through this crystal here, just like this. Hold on to the crystal, pull your thread through, tighten it up a little bit. And then we need to attach to the opposite side of the 8/0 here. Since we're already attached on this side, we'll go into this side of the bead and pull it really tight. Now this is the body of your earring. I'm going to bring this little tail in just by getting my flame close. Just kind of tuck it in. And then we're going to put a wire guardian on the top here so that we can attach our ear wire to it. So how we're going to do this is we're going to pick up 2 11/0 seed beads. Now these little wire guardians, you can get them at budgetbeads.shop too if you'd like to pick some up. And then we're going to go through, we've got 2 11/0s. We're going to go through one side of the wire guardian like this, hold on to it, pull this all down. Then go through the other side of the wire guardian like this, hold on to it, and just guide your thread. You can feel it run through your fingers and go right into the divot on top of that wire guardian, just like that. Then we're going to pick up 2 11/0 seed beads. Now it wants to flip funny, so look and see what side you're attached to and attach to the opposite side. So we're attached here, we're going to go into this side. This will pull my wire guardian around like that, and it'll be in the proper position. Now I'm just going to sew back through this so that I can secure it. So I'm coming out of the 8/0, I'll go up into these 2 11/0s, back into my wire guardian, hold on to my wire guardian, and pull my thread, and catch it on everything. There we go. There. And then I'm going to go into this side. I'll go into the wire guardian and the 2 11/0s here, just like this. Hold on to it, pop the thread down in that wire guardian, and go into the 8/0. Let's do that one more time, just to make sure it's nice and secure. If you're using a bigger thread and your 8/0 is getting tight, then just don't go through it one more time. Now I'm going through here. Now I just have to tie a knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm coming out of the 8/0 here. Let's get you really, really close. Oop, maybe not that close. There we go. See? Yep, it's cleared up. So I'm coming out of the 8/0 in the top of the unit here. I'm going to go directly down into this 11/0 that's right next to the 8/0 and very accessible to it. I'm going down into my embellishment. So I'm going into the 11/0 and the crystal here. And then I'll go into the 11/0 right underneath the crystal also. And then I can hop into this 8/0 seed bead between the units here. Then I'm going to go down into the side. So I did my side, my original loop with the bicones in red. So I know that I can go down into the side here. So I'll go into the 11/0 and the 15/0 above the bicone crystal, pull my thread through, and then I'll go down into this bicone, all the way down into the 15-0 and the 11-0. Of course, you don't have to tie off the way I'm doing it. I'm just getting far away from the top here so that I know that I have a nice secure knot. Now, I'm just going to grab, you can see, if I split my beads apart, there's a little thread bridge between this embellishment and the 8-0. And I'm just going to go under that little thread bridge. And I'm going to try to stay on that little thread bridge, make a loop, put my needle through it, and pull a knot down. Now, I'm not going to tie a bunch of knots because of the fact that I've sewn through so much that I've entangled it in there pretty well. But I have one knot. I'm going through this 8-0 here. The more you try to tie a bunch of knots, you may entangle a couple of your thread bridges and pull your beads out of place. So I've just tied one, and then I'm going to go through the 8-0 and then down into the embellishment on the side here. So the 11-0, the crystal, the 11-0, and up into this 8-0 here. Now we can tie one more knot between the 11-0 and the 8-0 and pull this down really tightly. Cut this off, leaving a tiny bit of a tag here. That might be a little too much. And then I'm just going to get my lighter close to it and burn that thread in like that. Now I have a 3D earring. It's double-sided. It's nice and round, little barrel shape. I can kind of doctor it up a little bit because I squished it with my fingers as I was holding it. So you can just unsquish it a little. I really squished it. There. Okay. So now I'm just going to take an ear wire and probably not scissors, probably some chain nose pliers. And I'm going to open it this way, and I'm going to slide it onto my wire guardian, close it like this, and ta-da, I have a little Christmassy earring. And they're going to hang really nice. They're really cute. I made the other one already. Let me grab it. And that's what that looks like. They're really cute little Christmassy earrings. And I will get the necklace and show you what it looks like with the necklace. Okay, so here's the necklace with it. This is called Gleeful Sparkle. I can't even say it. Why I named it that, I don't even know. And these are the Gleeful Sparkle earrings. And this set goes together really beautifully. So if you want to make the necklace, this is a tutorial that I will post basically at the same time I post this one. So you should be able to find it quite easily on the channel. Anyway, that's the earrings and that's the necklace, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Bye-bye.